Video game adaptations are a whole lot better than they used to be.
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
Now they are getting awards, leading to people giving the respect the art form deserves. Some video game franchises are doing the impossible, actually improving as they go on and being better than the original.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Now, nearly every video game is getting adaptation, even games that have not come out yet. So why make this video?
I'm Steve.
12 seconds later.
Basically just playing Jack Black, but in a blue shirt.
Like, it feels like a fake trailer making fun of a Minecraft movie trailer.
Why does it feel like this is the cheapest green screen they could afford?
What were you expecting? It's a movie. Hey, ma'am, nobody's on your side in here, so you might want to delete your own message, okay?
The Minecraft trailer was the shot in the arm that oversaturation can lead to horrible adaptations. To get ready for this cinematic dumpster fire, I want to ask a simple question. What is the worst video game movie? There is a lot to pick from Mario to the most recent Borderlands movie. Each has an element that makes them bad, from misunderstanding the property you're adapting, horrible CGI, terrible acting. What if there was one that combined all three? Allow me to introduce Alone in the Dark, with the lowest Rotten Tomato and Metacritic score ever for a video game adaptation. Lower than Borderlands, lower than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and lower than Mario. What happened here? Alone in the Dark is a horror franchise that started in 1992, where you play as a private investigator exploring a creepy mansion full of monsters. The gameplay focuses on solving puzzles and nail-biting combat.
I'm ready.
All jokes aside, without this game, the survival horror genre would not be so popular. It's a foundation set for the genre inspired Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Now, how does this movie honor this slow-paced horror franchise? So they took some liberties. Even the Wikipedia page says loosely based on the 2001 reboot. Now, to give the movie credit, the reboot did overhaul the combat and made it into a more Resident Evil 1 combat, with more action than the original. But the main focus of solving puzzles and exploring creepy mansion was kept in track. You can't say that with the movie. We open the movie with narration.
There are two worlds on this planet. A world of light and a world of darkness.
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Horror movies build tension before they show you the creature or killer to make you scared. It's horror movie 101. Even Five Nights at Freddy knows this lesson. Not Alone in the Dark.
Disappeared.
Yep, the CGI disaster is the only monster in this movie. The video game franchise you're basing on has many different creatures. You could have picked a creature where you could have used practical effects, because clearly this movie doesn't have a large enough budget to pull this CGI off. But who cares? Let's just watch the budget burn. Maybe the plot can save this movie? Based on the narration from the beginning of the movie, we learned there's a Native American tribe called the Kobne. They have artifacts that could open our world to the darkness. Now in present day, we follow Edward, who has a mysterious connection to the darkness and is searching for the hidden artifacts. Ooh, a MacGuffin plot. That's completely original. Do we start the movie with seeing Edward exploring a creepy mansion, finding these artifacts while avoiding monsters to build tension? Nope, we start with him already having the artifacts and him traveling home. You see, Alone in the Dark is playing 4D chess, and instead of starting your horror movie with a creepy scene, let's have a car chase. A couple things to point out. Why would you start your horror movie with this type of music? Second, you decide to add slow motion effects too. And finally, to top it off, you add this scene.
Slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
We are not even 10 minutes into the movie, and we can already checkmark misunderstanding the property you're adapting and horrible CGI. What happened here? I have a little theory. In the early 2000s, there was a horror movie franchise called Resident Evil. Now, if you ask any fan of this franchise, they would say the movie franchise butchered the source material by taking these amazing horror games and making them into action-packed slop. However, in Hollywood, only one thing matters. In total, the Resident Evil movie franchise has made $1.2 billion. So why not take another swing at it with another horror franchise? And this time we should get Uwe Boll to direct it. For anyone who does not know who Uwe Boll is, he is a very interesting director.
Writers are 2 years late. I was 2 weeks late. Uwe Boll calls me, "This is fucking disgusting! You lied to me! Where is my script?"
You have to really wake up and you have to see me what I am. I'm the only genius in the whole fucking business.
But I delivered the script probably a week after that, and he's like, "We love it, we go into production tomorrow." I was like, oh my god, like, it was a first draft.
Online petition calling for you to stop making movies. It has about 193,000 signatures. And you said if it hits 1 million, you're gonna quit the business.
He's one of the most prolific filmmakers out there. Yes, he's shit, but he's prolific.
In 2006 already, you challenged some of your fiercest critics to a boxing match.
If you come up here and you fight me, then I will kick the shit out of you.
The Teutonic Terror, Dr. Uwe Boll!
Critics a lesson?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he sure is a character, and he loves to make terrible video game movies. In fact, before this movie, he made House of the Dead, another horror movie based on a beloved video game franchise that is also known as one of the worst video game movies of all time. All these factors have led to this movie, where we see laughably bad action scenes and shots like this. After Edward deals with his pursuer, we cut to Dr. Hutcherson, our main villain of this movie. We find out that he was the one who set the hitman after Edward, and he just found the rare Saucony artifact called the Erebus. This artifact is made out of solid gold.
The container's made of solid gold. Whatever's inside must be worth a fortune.
Oh, you have no idea.
But I'm looking forward to finding out.
That escalated quickly.
When the captain opens the Erebus, one of the creatures jumps out from the beginning of the movie and kills all of them off screen. It also sends signals around the world where we see people act weird and walk into the darkness. This signal also affects our main character too. We cut to a government agent named Richard. He works for Bureau 713, which monitors the supernatural, and the signal the monster just sent out is off the chart. A phone call wakes up our main character. We find out all the people who walked into the darkness all went into the same orphanage as him. To find answers, he travels to Dr. Hutcherson's museum, where we're introduced to Elena, his girlfriend. This is where I cut to a bad dialogue and we all point and laugh. Instead, the dialogue is just wooden.
So what are we looking for exactly?
The app kind of used constellations to pinpoint a geographical location, but I don't think we could zero in more than maybe 100-mile radius.
I'm not a robot. I'm a unicorn.
Like Miss Turner says, Uwe took the first draft of Blood Rain and immediately went into production. That's how the script of Alone in the Dark feels. For example, in the plot, our main villain, Dr. Hutcherson, wants to release darkness onto the world. But why? Nothing in this movie explains that question. That also goes for the characters too. Here's an image of Richard. What you see is what you get. A no-nonsense commando that has no personality other than shooting things makes him feel good. That goes for all the characters. They lack any personality because the first draft of the script has no zip. So when the monster attacks Edward and Elena at the museum, you feel nothing and start looking at other things, like how this doesn't feel like a horror movie at all, because every time a monster appears on screen, it turns into an over-top action scene. After surviving the attack, Edward visits an old co-worker at Bureau 713, where they proceed to lore dump on you. First, the names. The creatures are called Xenos. They are able to put parasites into their victims and control them. Second, the backstory. When Edward was a child, they experimented on his orphanage and put these parasites into all the children. However, he was electrified when he was a kid, killing the parasite. Finally, how do we kill them? They don't like light, Goofy, so they cover all their bullets with
coated in a photon-accelerated luminescent resin.
Yeah, whatever he said. It's time to find out where they came from and take them down. We cut to Dr. Henderson, who captured a Xeno somehow. He's now injecting himself with their blood, and now he has the ability to control them. It sends them off to affect more humans. Eventually, the Xenos find Edward and Elena, which turns into the most ridiculous action scene yet. We have shaky cam hand-to-hand combat scene, bloodshot on the camera, and the best scene of the entire film. Now this is true cinema. Rock and roll music in a horror movie, fast-paced editing with flashing lights where you can't tell what is happening, and it lasts for a full minute? It could only come from someone who never read the source material at all and likes guns going brrr. After that sequence, they team up with Richard, and thanks to all the artifacts they found, they are able to find the source of the Xenos, an old abandoned mineshaft. So we have the main characters traveling underground while we have the red shirts getting murdered on the surface. If you're keeping track at home, this is the fourth action scene in this movie. Don't worry, Alone in Dark fans, this time they have turns. Uwe knows what you want, not a slow-paced horror thriller with well-written characters that respects the source material. You want video game movie slop. How does this slop end? They find the Door of Darkness. Sorry, wrong franchise. They decide to keep it close, but Dr. Henderson has other plans. Right before they stop him, he opens the door. Beyond the door, we see millions of Xenos rushing to escape. We see Richard placing a bomb, leading to an explosion that destroys the mineshaft. But it's not over. They actually tease a sequel. For some reason, everyone in the city disappears, and we see Edward exploring an empty city. Right before cutting to credits, we hear a Xeno about to attack Edward. The sequel did come out, and it has a new cast of characters, but it's not directed by Uwe, so who cares? Overall, this movie is a disaster from top to bottom. It misunderstands the source material, it has terrible CGI, it has a script that should have never been greenlighted in the first place, and a director that needs to go to therapy. That is cool and all, but does it answer our original question? Is it truly the worst video game movie of all time? I think so. To me, the worst type of movie is a forgettable bad movie. If you ask your friend to recommend you a bad video game movie, they'll probably recommend these three movies. These movies are popular enough to be remembered by the general audience, while Alone in Dark movie has been forgotten in the past couple decades. I didn't even know this existed before I started researching, making it the worst video game movie of all time with how forgettable it truly was. Thank you for going on this miserable journey with me, and if you enjoyed this video, consider supporting us on Patreon to see all these videos early. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next video.